Now, we are deeply concerned with what's happening in Turkey and Syria after this earthquake. And this reminds us that our planet is in danger. As leaders, we should take immediate actions to find joint solutions for these challenges with all the resources and efforts. Gentlemen, the theme of today, fostering social growth and development for a prosperous future, inspired by the main topic of our summit, how to shape the governments of the future. This is happening in a timely manner in parallel with the second priority axis, with this second mandate of mine, in order to build an economy, a more open economy for competence, a more competitive economy for more innovation and investment, with the promotion of activity, economic activity, commerce, trade, e-commerce, and the inclusive growth. This gives us as well the opportunity to share our vision and our objectives for the development, whether be it social or economic, with innovative financing, and in order to highlight our priorities for the decades to come. In order to promote the economy and the social growth for a prosperous future in the Central African Republic, and since March 30, 2016, with my election, I wanted to make these solutions happen in order to overcome an unprecedented crisis after the political military crisis in 2013. And as many African countries, the Central African Republic is a poor country. Although we have many potentials, natural as well, these are unexploited treasures. We have lack of financing, and as well we have foreign interference on this new neo-colonialism pillar, and these tensions among big powers. Agriculture, for example, constituting the lung, the artery of our national economy, with more than 15 million hectares of soil, and only 1% of these lands are exploited. Forest, with 4.4 million of hectares, with now lacking of administration, or they are just exploited for semi-artisanal or semi-professional reasons. Tourism, now with international pacts and the touristic sites and reserves on all the lands of the country, this is not enough highlighted. The energy resources are multiple and varied on the lands of our country, but they are not exploited at their real value. And the production level for hydroelectricity, estimated in 2016 at 20 megawatts, and today this number is heavily below the actual need of consumption. In terms of the mining, our republic is very wealthy, with a big geological treasure of more than 470 mines, with gold reserves, cobalt, diamond reserves, platinum, palladium, uranium, and many other precious resources and strategic resources that are not being exploited or used. Transport, road transport, with 24,000 kilometers of roads. This number is as well very now limited in comparison with the needs. Now, in terms of education, we see a low number of penetration and the coverage by telecom services. The challenges were very complex and increasing. Everything was urgent. This situation was exacerbated by a difficult international context with the pandemic, COVID-19 pandemic. And with all and amid all these challenges, I built my vision on this will for a more peaceful, unified Central African Republic without violence, with a resilient economy for a better future. And with this vision, I wanted, first and foremost, to rebuild on these profound values of our society in order to gather all the people with our motto, unity, dignity, and labor. This is why I organized my vision on these main pillars, and the implementation was of 5 priorities, and they are: first, the sustainable security and the national territorial defense with the disarmament process and the reintegration of the veterans. Second, the reforms in the security sector, the interior security, peace, reconciliation, and the justice. The rebuilding of our country with this very efficient economic policy focused on the implementation and the focus on the peace consolidation process with as well the reforms in the public finance and in the audit as well as energy, commerce, trade, agriculture, infrastructure, and natural resources usage. In addition, the social sphere with the problem of unemployment, education, health, the drinking water and the education, the political and administrative governance, which means as well the modernization of the institutions and building a more just state with healthy and independent institutions, the restoration of the state authority over the land of the territory, and as well the decentralization and the deconcentration and the localization of regions. A state, a post-conflict state. So our republic is in need of financial resources in order to implement the public policies. The solution consists of rethinking of our economic environment to open it to the new technologies and to create the cooperation with a digital economy. This is why we have adopted a law about cryptocurrencies and the blockchain technology, and many around the world are now trying to consider as the technology of tomorrow. The new framework will give the opportunity for a designated investment through tokenization. In the bill will be submitted to the National Assembly, and another bill relating to the blockchain. I want to reassure the generations to come that the future will be prosperous. We will get rid of all the endogen and exogen obstacles that until now have undermined our development. Our republic is betting on the private sector development as driver of the growth. So the e-economy, the digital economy, is now one of the pillars of all the economic rehabilitation and recovery with all the infrastructure, economy, energy, and the business world improvement. This summit is giving us the opportunity to motivate the digital players to come to the Central African Republic in order to explore the potential, the unlimited potentials and all the applications of digitalization. Investing today in Central African Republic means investing in the future. Tomorrow, maybe it will be too late. Our country has many obstacles or paralysis, for example, the lack of access to internet and to mobile services. But amid these challenges, we proceeded to elaborate a national plan for East Central African Republic, or the Central African Republic digitally, to translate this will to elevate the country to the rank of the prosperous countries. This strategic digital program 2025 will not only allow to contribute to the improvement of all the regions and the recovery of the performance, the competitiveness, and the sustainability of our economy, but also to improve our sociability, the improvement of our human capital, the know-how of our citizens in terms of efficiency and efficacy of our institutions, and in order to prevent poverty and divisions. We do not digitalize an economy overnight. This is true. This operation, this process has cost as well, and this implies big structural changes and new skills to be acquired. We need experts, we need professionals in the digital sphere in order to prevent the problems and getting lost in the new trends. This is why the initiatives and the ongoing engagement of the government since the genesis of this idea of governance based on the new technologies. This allows the Republic to have the right infrastructure that was lacking in terms of connectivity, fiber optic, and the other data that are a requirement for new services and as well new usages. My country is in the heart of Africa, and this means symmetrically we have underwater cables, and it should become a natural hub of the whole continent of Africa, a crossroads of internet with the dorsal project for the fiber optic in Central African Republic that was just launched. This means that we can offer more flexibility for services with more administrative transparency, because the initiatives in terms of services as well for the users consist first and foremost in these information that will be available to them in order for them to simplify their administrative tasks, and second, through the tele services, the mobile services, in order for the users to do all the transactions online. This is why we highlighted the necessity of internet accessibility in the rural regions, and with the high debit or the high speed connectivity and the broadband as well. But we can go even further in this revolution with our joint digitalization plans, and in order for us to create new models for growth and to contribute, to participate in this mission to train the future governments in the service of a better future to the humanity. And now with all these joint efforts, we can make progress even at a faster pace to promote the local digital actors with services and products that are innovative, taking into consideration the transversality of this digital world. Ladies and gentlemen, speaking of how to reshape the governments of tomorrow makes me think of how to respond to the aspirations and the needs of our youth that is passionate of the digital today. We are well aware that the new generation, that the young generation is dynamic and it wants to embrace all the technology, and now they want responses. For example, they want to be educated, to be trained. We cannot win this growth and this social improvement battle without a human capital that is well trained. This is why we have equipped our country with a health development plan of the third generation between 2022 and 2026. And the cost of implementation is estimated at 163 billion of our local currency. And in the framework of this program of 10 domains of presidential focus, we adopted a policy for the free care to the pregnant women, milking moms, and the less than 5 years old children. The Central African Republic has now one of the best levels of social coverage, and this puts us on the right way to come to cover 10% of the population in terms of vaccination as well. This extraordinary performance has earned us the high committee for the vaccination, the COVID-19 vaccination, and this was sustained and even expanded. Speaking of the international health security, our country organized and successfully did, as a pilot country, the preparation and response test. And now we are the world reference in this regard. Thank you very much.